Hello and welcome once again to The Awakened Life with me, Mark Jansen, the Love Philosopher. Today I'm really excited because we're going to be looking at a question that I have wrestled with for years and years, and I believe it to be one of the most important questions, if not the most important questions that can be asked. And not only the most important question that can be asked, but I believe this question, if we understand it, it can help us to live not only a meaningful life, but secondly, live a life without suffering, without pain, without sorrow. What I'm speaking of is the ultimate question. What is the purpose of human life? What is the purpose of life? That's what we're going to be looking at today in The Awakened Life. Now, some people believe that we are here just to make money so we can buy lots of material things and then enjoy our life. This is the materialist perspective. Life has no overarching meaning or purpose, so we should just eat, drink, and be merry and have fun. Such thinking is especially prevalent in Western culture, but it's led to many people feeling spiritually bankrupt and empty inside. And we see, for example, in Hollywood, people who achieve tremendous success at the top of their game, yet because they're ignorant of the true meaning of life, they feel a vacuum, they feel empty inside. And sadly, they try to fill this emptiness with drugs or alcohol or sex or more money or power or fame, only to find none of these things can satisfy our heart's deepest desire until we understand what is our true purpose, why are we here. Religious people might argue, well, we're here to worship God. And even though I consider myself a religious person, but I would disagree with that understanding. Because if you think of it logically, if God created humans just to worship him, it would mean that God is a very vain, narrow-minded narcissist, which of course he's not. No, we're not here to worship God. Of course, when we're in a love relationship with somebody, we would want to worship and adore and appreciate them. And it's good to worship God, but that is not our real purpose. So what then is our real purpose? Rather than giving some long, lengthy philosophical discourse, I will explain human purpose in one word. The purpose is joy. We were created for the purpose of joy. What's the evidence for that? Well, you only have to look at a small baby. Why do we call babies a bundle of joy? All they do, apart from eat and sleep and poop, they laugh, they smile, they have fun. Because they've just come from source where it's just absolute joy and bliss. And unfortunately, when we came into this environment called Earth, we also were full of joy, full of bliss, full of happiness. But sadly, that was soon educated out of us. When we look at the world, and especially when you look at the materialists, they say nature gives us tools, gifts, skills, qualities for the sake of our survival. But I was just thinking of music. I was listening to some music the other day. I was listening to the Beatles and thinking of how they influence the world through music. And I was reading the comments and somebody said, music is one of the greatest, if not the greatest invention that humans have made. And it made me think, music has no evolutionary or no survival benefits. It's just there to give us joy. And what joy it gives us. Humor is another thing that has no evolutionary or survival benefits, but we have humor. Why? Again, for the sake of joy. It's the same with our ability to understand and appreciate beauty. None of the animals in creation appreciate beauty except humans. You know, you might see a beautiful sunset. The sun is shining actually today. That's why I'm dressed in a t-shirt, in this vest. I'm enjoying the sun. But can you imagine when you look at a beautiful sunrise or sunset, you never have the thought or the feeling, oh, that's nothing special, or that's the same as yesterday. If we see a sunrise or a sunset, we think, wow, that's so beautiful, especially when we see the colors blending in the sky. And it's only humans that appreciate beauty. We go into nature, we see the flowers, the trees, the bushes, and we just feel refreshed being within nature because we can admire, respect, and appreciate the immense beauty that's all around us. Again, that ability to appreciate beauty is because the purpose of our existence is joy. We can say, just like a father having a child would prepare that child's room and make everything nice for that child to be happy. Likewise, our Creator created this world and everything in it so we can be happy. But now I have a spoiler alert. I don't want to get too deep or too metaphysical, but this reality we call planet Earth is actually, it's a virtual reality simulation game. We're actually living in a simulation. And if you've ever played simulation or computer games, you know that there's an objective. And once you fulfill that objective, you go on to the next level and so on. Planet Earth, what is the objective of life on Earth? It is to awaken spiritually. Now, you've heard me say before that humans, for the most part, are spiritually dead. As a result, we don't know, we can't feel the Creator, we don't know how to live with ourselves or with each other, and we live a life of suffering, misery, unhappiness, all because we're ignorant of the Creator. We're ignorant of the Creator because, for the most part, we're spiritually dead. So what is the purpose of life on earth? It is to awaken spiritually. As we awaken spiritually, we start to remember who we really are. We're not this fleshy body. No, we are a higher consciousness. We're using these bodies as avatar to play this particular game called life on earth. So if we are really spiritually asleep, how do we wake up? That's the $1,000,000 question. Well, I'm glad you asked. We wake up through living spiritual life. And again, that's one of the purposes of this channel, The Awaken Life, to show people how they can awaken spiritually and live their best lives now. So how exactly do we awaken spiritually? There are many ways. We can awaken spiritually by developing our spiritual life, by loving others, by serving others, by reading spiritual guidance or literature, meditation, prayer. There are many different avenues to help us awaken our spirit, but the most powerful, the most effective, and the most beneficial way to awaken spiritually, St. Paul called it the most excellent way, and that is the path of love. That's why they call me the love philosopher, because everything I teach is based on love. When we love, it helps us to connect with our real selves. When we love, it awakens our spirit, and the more we love, the more our spirit is awakening. And that is the purpose of life on earth. Yes, we're here to have a great time. Yes, we're here to experience joy, laughter, and happiness. But also, we must remember the best, the most effective way to do this is through love. That's why love is at the core of all religions. The more we love, the more we awaken spiritually. And the more we awaken spiritually, the more we remember who we are. And as this happens, we grow more and more until we become what some spiritual teachers would say, we become enlightened. That is when we understand that we're living in a game, we see the game, and we transcend the game. I will explain in more details what exactly is enlightenment and how we can attain it within one lifetime. But for now, I just want to re emphasize the purpose of human existence is joy. There are many ways to experience joy, but the best way, the most effective way, is through living a life of love. And my friends, once more, that is exactly the purpose of the awakened life. So I look forward to taking this journey with you to walk in the spiritual path, to awakening and living a life of love. I look forward to seeing you soon. God bless and take care.